Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Timberborn Update 5 playthrough with the Folktails faction. Here, cycle for day 1. Let's hit pause real quick, because we got to talk about what happened in that crazy first episode. So, you can see that we still have 9 adult beavers, 5 baby beavers, and 1 infected beaver. Or contaminated adult, I guess is what the game wants to call it. But yeah, we got off to a pretty good start, and then we had a bad tide, which on this map, Helix Mountain, well, the good waters started to come back out, but on this map, it's not good. We'll just say that. It's caused our water supply to become poisoned, and just, you know, overall bad vibes, I guess we could say. But we managed to more or less save ourselves, kind of, with some well-placed water dumps, and eventually, after this guy got infected and one other one, removing the path to go across the river so they can no longer become infected by the bad water, because I took the path away. But I digress. We had plenty of less than ideal things occur toward the end of last episode, but we're going to do as much as we can today to try and fix some of that. And you guys gave a lot of really good comments. Actually, a lot of comments in general. Is one of the most commented videos we've had in a very long time. So it's good to see that you guys are excited about this playthrough. I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun. But I did want to address a couple of those real quick before we started today. One of the most interesting comments I got was about how to deal with this area. And a number of you said either to build levees here or put floodgates or whatever. I think we're going to go long-term with the floodgate solution because let's not forget, I do have the automated floodgates mod or simple floodgate automation, whatever. I don't have a floodgate to show you, but the water pumps have the similar kind of deals. You can pause and unpause automatically when a drought starts, when temperate or bad tide starts. So you have all sorts of control in the updated version of the mod. You can do timers. I've never had a good time with the timers because it took me too long to figure it out and I screwed myself over, but that's not the fault of the mod. Attaching stream gauges and everything is also going to be extremely useful. I'm assuming it's going to allow us to do it by contamination as well, because that's a metric that those measure. But just being able to have the controls separated into different types of cycles is huge. That is a fantastic functionality upgrade. So we're going to make sure that we take advantage of that whenever we can unlock the floodgates, because we don't have a ton of science and we don't have a ton of beavers right now either. So we're going to have to put this on a pause for a little bit. But it's going to be a little while before we can justify the science expense to get the single and the double and the triple floodgates all unlocked. But I do want to put in floodgates, maybe even up here, and then put a levee here so we create kind of a separate pool, a lagoon or something, if you will, to where the only water that can come through here and stay trapped in here is going to be good water, so that we can have all of our trees get planted and grow appropriately, and all sorts of fun stuff like that. And then eventually up here, once we get up to the middle of the map, I want to have just a more or less a clear-cut exit path for bad water right from the top. And we'll just kind of just go all the way down here and have a series of floodgates that automatically open and close every bad tide, temperate, whatever you want to call it. And that hopefully won't take us too long, but I imagine that kind of a scale, and especially considering where we are with population and resources, don't look for that within the next 10 episodes or so. It's going to take us a while, but that is one of my eventual goals with this map. I do want to try and automate the bad tides in a way that's going to, I guess, positively affect our enjoyment without making it too cheesy. I want the usage of the mechanic to be, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I want the usage of the mechanic to be sufficiently difficult enough where it's more of a challenge to solve the problem, quote unquote, the wrong way than it is to just do it with the base game stuff. Because what's the point in doing something stupid and easy, right? Anyway, all that being said, that is going to be one of our major focuses early on as soon as we can get to it. That being floodgate automation, especially right here. But there are also a couple things we can do in the meantime before we really get going. And that is another suggestion to put farming stuff over here, because right now, these pine trees are not affected by the bad tide. There's a little bit of this contamination in the ground here, but This is a space we can grow trees, we can grow crops that aren't going to be affected. We just have to have a little bit of water in place. And I cannot believe that I didn't think of this before, but we have levees. We don't need to put stairs in. We can actually come out to a corner, like say right here, and just for demonstrative purposes, do something like this. And then all we have to do is put in a fluid dump on top of, okay, I guess I have it turned around the wrong way, but all we have to do is put a fluid dump on top of something like this. And then we don't have to worry about putting stairs in because we can use the terrain to our advantage. So I'm actually going to put one of those right here. This is a really good spot for that. But I did want to make you guys aware that that was something that I did not come up with by myself. That was a commenter had left that. So thank you for that. That is exactly the kind of thinking and kind of feedback I really like getting, because it makes the playthrough a lot more interesting for everybody, and it makes it a little bit easier for me, which means we can have more fun. So that is a fantastic thing. Very, very, very thankful for you guys in the comments who critically analyze what I'm doing and let me know what might be a little bit better. So please don't ever feel like you can't criticize what I'm doing or whatever. I actually do legitimately read and take all of your feedback into consideration, even if I can't respond to you. So yeah, I'm not going to be one of those YouTubers that gets super mad at people for leaving comments about, oh, well, you maybe could have done this a little bit better. Like, don't be stupid about it. Don't be mean or whatever. But, you know, constructive criticism is good. That's how we grow. It's how we learn. And that's why we're doing this, right? Aside from just wanting to kill an hour watching a beaver game every day. But hey, that's fun too. Anyway, I digress severely. We're going to get this put in, irrigate a little bit of this area, and then we're also going to come up here. And because of the elevation, we're going to have to put some stairs in. But I really want to make sure that we're able to take advantage of this area for growing trees. So, just because of the way this is set up, I could just do one of these numbers. I might as well just keep doing it the same way I always have. I don't really need to reinvent the wheel. But we'll put that in like that way right there. And then that should be okay. I will leave space right here for another inventor should we need it in the future. But want to make sure that we can actually start growing things and be in a better position for all of this, because that's what makes this tick. Outside of that, the alarm was raised about all the berry bushes being dead. Yeah, well, unfortunately, there's literally nothing I can do about that right now. But I'll give you a hint. They're dead. They might be soon if we don't get our good water back. But yeah, it's not going to be something we really need to worry about. We do have the forester here, and we can and will replant the berries at some point. We just really don't need to worry about that right now. Folktails don't need the berries until, well, actually, I haven't checked. I haven't checked to see if the new well-being, the herbalist. Okay, no, the herbalist needs the berries. All right, so we are going to need the berries. But I was going to say that theoretically, Folktails playthrough doesn't need berries because it's the lowest preference of the foods. And at one point, I don't even think, yeah, it doesn't even appear in the nutrition scale for well-being. But now that the herbalist needs it, well, that completely changes the game. So we will have to replant those. But again, not a priority right now. We'll let them take care of all of this stuff, get this bad water flushed out. It is slowly making its way down, but it could still be another day or so before we have that taken care of. So now that all the berries are dead, I'm just gonna get rid of that gatherer flag, and that guy can go do something else. So how are we looking on our water flushing? All right, it's coming around here very slowly. Also keep in mind, the water pumps do work with bad water. They're just not going to pump out as much. So I'm going to go ahead and turn one of these back on, because that's going to be a very, very important thing for us to be able to, you know, drink water. But thankfully, it looks like most of this is back now. Back to the good water. So we'll turn these on, and they should start pumping with enthusiasm here. So now that we have the fluid dumps in place, I'm actually going to deprioritize these. So actually, that one was already paused. So maybe I'll just Yeah, I'll just pause this because, one, we don't need them during a not a drought, and two, they will still irrigate for a while after being paused just because the water takes X amount of days to evaporate. So if we notice it goes dry, we can just turn them back on. Not really worried about that. Ah, yes. Day 3, and we already have the drought warning. Well, it is hard mode. So that's the it's the way the cookie crumbles. That is just how this goes. So the fun thing that we get to experience now, it is a drought. So we don't have to worry about bad... I don't know why I paused the game. I don't need to pause the game. We don't have to worry about the bad tide. We just have to worry about running out of water. Which it's very possible that we do. And I don't have enough logs to build a dam across here, which is unfortunate. So this is going to have to suffice, giving us this little tiny bit of water corralled in here. So we are going to need to make sure that they do as much pumping as they possibly can. We also need to start cutting these pines down. And because I haven't started tree farming over here, I am going to checkerboard these just a little bit. And as a couple of you discussed in the comments, the checkerboard strategy is really good if you don't have a forester available to replenish an area, or if you're just trying to have a little bit of a control over how quickly you cut forest down. In the grand scheme of things, we really don't need to checkerboard this. It's fine for us to just clear cut, but I do want to try and be at least somewhat responsible with the land use over here. And right now we can get most of these taken care of, but we're going to need pine resin at some point, and I don't think it's soon, but there's no reason to get rid of it while we have it, because I don't know if you've checked. I'm going to pause this while I'm talking so I don't lose stuff, but I don't know if you've taken a look around, but the only accessible pines right now and for the foreseeable future are right here. We'd have to build way up the cliff here, and then, of course, all these up here are dead. So while these pine trees are in a location that is not going to be affected by bad tides, we need to protect at least some of them so we can have that resin for when we need it. Because I'm not sure... It's been so long since I've played... well, I haven't played new Folktales at all, but it's been so long since I've played Folktales period without a ton of mods that I don't remember exactly what uses them. That might be them, the pine resin, that might be different from what I'm used to. And I think it might just be the wood workshop, but I would have to be sure. You think they would use it for more stuff, although I guess the treated planks by proxy is using pine resin. So I guess we could leave that alone. That's probably fine. Fortunately, we have a small population of beavers, so it's not as mission critical when we have low water supplies, because of course they're not going to use as much because, you know, they're kind of not that many of them. So all that to say, I am going to put another lumberjack flag over here, and I just need to find a good place to do it. I guess right here is fine, because we do have the unemployed beaver. Let's get him over here cutting these trees down, because we can use the wood. Just because we don't really have anything being built currently doesn't mean we don't need the wood. Part of the reason we don't have anything being built is because we didn't have the wood. So you know how this goes. We'll just get them taking care of all of that stuff. That'll be fine. And since this is a drought and not a bad tide, we can actually still keep working up here and get a little bit closer to having floodgates automated up here. So obviously the dam pieces take a lot more wood, and I don't think we're going to need more than maybe 3 to come through here. Keep in mind we only have, I say only, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 source blocks up here that are running through. And if there's insufficient flow capacity in one side of the river, it's just going to go around. It's not like a super crazy huge bottleneck kind of thing. So what I was going to propose is just something like this, where we come down on a piece of staircase and just dam this up. Of course, now it's not going to matter because, you know, the drought is here. But for the future, that is something we're going to want to consider. And then, of course, at the front here, we'll put some floodgates, and that should be a-okay. But we do have an opportunity right now to have another beaver working. And farm seems to be doing just fine. I need to prioritize planting again here. And we're planting trees. It's good to see. Oak trees. I have my lumberjacks here. They can't actually reach everywhere. Before we let this come down all the way, let's put in, just because we have the space here, let's put in one lumberjack here because I know they can reach that. And then fill the rest of this in. There we go. Plenty of space here. And I'm going to pause construction on both of these just so they can't get any ideas and take care of that until everything is ready. But we are looking good right here, right now. We have 6 days left of the drought. Water-wise, we might be able to pump this out if they're thirsty enough, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Food is coming in slowly but surely. And since we don't have a bad tide, we should actually really take advantage of this, hoard food as much as we possibly can. We've got almost full storage for carrots. We're going to have another carrot storage. In fact, we can put these in a couple different places as well. We don't have the ladders unlocked yet, but we are going to want to make sure we're taking advantage of all of this. So one of the reasons, I guess I'll go to single time speed. One of the reasons I built these houses like this, somebody left a comment about, hey, you should have stacked them. We're going to, but you're going to have to take up a certain amount of space footprint-wise, and you might as well just go ahead and get it out of the way so you don't have to demolish stuff later. So these 6 regular lodges, we can build on top of them with all of our medium warehouses, and if I put in the platforms, I can actually have this whole thing covered. We'll have one here, one here, one here, one here, and then we could either put a path through the center or off to the side or what have you, and then just get through it. Obviously, we don't have the science form yet, so I can't build it like that quite yet, but we are going to get to that point. Just want to make you guys aware that there is some sort of a method behind the madness here. It doesn't always work well, but it is always at work. Might just take a little bit of time for some stuff to get done. So, what we're doing now is we're waiting on planks. And I was reluctant to turn this back on because we didn't have any beavers doing anything else. But what I can do is I can pause the water pump stuff because we have 200 water stored up when we only have 18 beavers. We can send these guys over to the lumber mill and the power wheel. We've got 18K and none in here working, well, theoretically, on making some planks for us. So we'll turn that back up, making good use of the pines that we're cutting down here and letting them regrow while we are planting all of our oak trees up here. And of course, because there's no water being contained here, these can't grow. And, well, they're not going to die during a drought yet. The droughts have not gotten quite so severe that that is a problem. But making the planks is going to help us put these water dumps in, and fluid dumps. We'll put those in, and we'll get everything situated just a little bit better here. Let's check our levels. Yep, we're still looking okay there. We should be okay for quite a while, and we will end up turning these back on in due time. But now that that's filled up, I'm going to pause that one and make sure we're rotating our beavers around so they can accomplish all sorts of good stuff. I am going to turn on one of these inventor huts just so we can get some of that science coming back in, because it is going to take a while for us to get everything situated back in again. Looks like carrot storage is mostly full, but they are consuming them, so that's helping. We do still need additional storage, and I haven't forgotten about that. We just need to take care of a few other things here. Have they cut all eligible trees? It looks like they have. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this guy. Let those trees grow back a little bit. And then, oh, you know what we can do? Is we can actually put this path segment back in. We can send these beavers across because it's not a bad tide. We can just gather all of the other remnants here and get these berries and all sorts of good stuff like that. So this is waiting on stairs. There we go. That's going to help us quite a bit, having this securely hydrated. All right, looking good. We're getting potatoes. I love how many grilled potatoes we're getting. Food security is fantastic. All right, and yes, it only irrigated a few more blocks, but when the bad tide comes, excuse me, we're going to be really, really glad that we have this here. All right, so fluid dump gets paused. We'll just have to remember to turn that back on later because we've got beavers that can be doing all sorts of other stuff here. So the inventors can now be super deprioritized and just permanently left on. Yes, I know that's going to kick them out, but if we don't have to think about and just have these as the backup, oh, you have nothing left to do, go be a nerd in this hut with a spinny thing on top, then we'll get some science out of it. All things considered, for what's happened to us last episode, we're in a really good spot. And the amount of time left, since we have these irrigated, we can actually pump this completely dry. So I'm going to turn these back on, get these guys in here. We've got BAM 905 and Fabrizio in here pumping water for us. We're going to get this just completely emptied out because we do have the water here and here and here and here. So we're in really, really, really good shape currently. I'm sure that will change. We'll probably get a bad tide next cycle, but that's the way she goes. So what I do want to do before they build these levees and everything, I do want to get these stairs in place, and I want to start building up here because it's going to be more important for us to be able to just divert water or bad water or whatever before it's going to be important to contain water here. Because we can always just build one of these fluid dumps. That's not a problem. We've established that that's something that's possible for us to accomplish. So instead, we can focus on getting this set up in a way that's going to allow us to continue to happily host our trees over here. So pause again, take a quick look-see. We have 1.6 days left in the drought, and we know we're going to get at least 6 full days of a temperate cycle. That's 7.5 days, plus the time it takes for bad water to get down here. So realistically, we have at least 8 days, maybe 9, depending on how the timing works out with all of the different jobs and timing of the maps and everything. So if we can get some science to unlock just the one high floodgate, I think that would be a good goal for us to have. Get at least one of these in here, maybe 2. Put the rest as just regular levees so we can control how the water comes in. Now remember, regular levees take 12 wood apiece. These guys take 10 wood and 5 planks. We have planks. We have enough planks stored up right now. We have 10 to put 2 of these floodgates in, and that is A-okay. That's going to work out just fine for us. We have enough wood available to cut up here from these old oak trees, assuming they can actually get up there. It looks like they can. Yeah, I don't think that's affected by pathing, and it shouldn't be. So we're okay. We're okay, all things considered. And I don't think we really need to be panicking about anything. So we'll just go ahead and let this keep on going. But I am going to start, at the very least, building levees up here. We are going to have to levee this entire thing all the way across, and that is 7 of these. So that's a pretty substantial amount of wood. But if we have this set up, then that makes it much easier to come up here and put these pieces in. I'll put the gates in the middle, but we don't have those unlocked yet. This is going to go a long way toward helping us keep things, even if we don't have this in here, because it's more important to keep the bad water from coming in than it is to hold good water from leaving currently, because of the way we have our fluid dumps set up. But if we can kind of turbocharge our wood collection here a little bit, and I don't expect these to grow anytime soon because they're oak trees, they take forever, and most of these have not grown at all. Okay, well that one kind of did pretty well. So this lumberjack flag is now going to be paused. We're going to send all these guys. Yeah, we're just wasting jobs here. Let's go. Let's get to work. Put you guys to work real quick doing that, or you can go do science. That's fine as well. We just need to get some more harvesting accomplished here. And they're actually almost finished with all of this. So if we're able to get somewhere where they can get a few more of these. So that's not really going to matter having it here, but this is a pretty substantial amount of wood. These are 8 apiece, so would not hurt to have this connected at the very least. That'll be fine. Okay, so drought's over. Cycle 5 is back, and we should see. Yeah, oh man, just all this stuff dying up here just really is unfortunate. That's why it's so important for us to save at least some of these pine trees, because not going to want to have to plant them from scratch when we really, really need to have any resin or anything like that. But good news is, everything's looking fine. I'm going to pause our lumber mill and our power wheel because we don't really need those currently. We have plenty of planks. No problems whatsoever. Water storage is looking good. We do need to have some more, but at our present population size, we're not going to have any problems with water. If we want to expand, we will. But I'm not attempting to expand anytime soon, not with the way these things are going. And food storage is not a problem. Again, we can't currently out-eat our production because we've kept our population size pretty small. So I don't need to build any more storage right now. But before we expand our population at all, we are absolutely going to have some. And right now, everything is looking fine. We have 98 grilled potatoes. We can hold 120. We can keep raw potatoes in the farm. It's not going to be a problem. So now we have 105 science. Remember, we need 150 to get the floodgate unlocked. And these guys are already making really good progress here on these levees. We only have 24 more to get the side put in. And the water's not even here. It's almost. Okay, here it comes. Here comes that big surge. But now we can get back to planting all of these oak trees, and I am going to try and get them to take care of all of this now. There we go. And we have plenty of wood left to harvest. No problems there. That is going fantastically well. Now, did we... nope, we still haven't built this. All right, that probably should be a priority. Let's get that done so we can get this harvested. We almost have enough science. That's also looking good. Day 3, we did not get the drought warning, so we have at least one extra day that I wasn't planning on. This is how many? Okay, we need 8 more logs, which we theoretically already have, depending on how many are in the middle of hauling things. And I'm going to go ahead and unlock the floodgate now. And I'm just going to place these 2 right here. Should have no problem getting those built. Now, the one issue with them having offset like this is that I cannot synchronize them adjacent-wise, but we can just, automatically program both. That's fine. All right, so this is done. That's very good progress there. So we're going to get these finished first. If we have time, then I'll turn these back on. But right now, I don't think that is something we need to be super concerned with. All right, so these are already super deprioritized. The inventors are. So all I have to do if I want them to stop doing that is give them other jobs, which currently I don't have any. Okay, well, I guess I technically might have a need for more jobs, but yep, there's that bad tide warning. That's why I wanted to prioritize this as much as possible. And I think we can get there based off of what's left up here. We have the planks. We're going to have the wood. And right now, yeah, we need 10 more here. Another 10. So we need another 30 logs that have not already been placed. And we already have the planks. That is completely doable in 3 days. So what does that mean for down here? It means that this area is going to be bad news again. But because we have these fluid dumps, we're going to keep these pine trees safe. We're going to keep these potatoes safer. There's still going to be a little bit of intrusion, but we do have the good water here to hopefully stave some of that off. And again, we have tons of food. It's not really a problem. What is going to be a problem is the fact that we're not going to be able to advance at quite as quick of a pace as we're used to with these playthroughs, because we're going to have to combat the bad tides. But everything is looking splendid so far, considering. It is just a shame that we're not going to be able to have this walled off at the bottom. This is going to be dry, but it's not going to be poisoned, at the very least. and that's something to celebrate. So we've got almost half the logs there. Yeah, they'll get it done in 1.7 days. We might have to pull an all-nighter at the end, but should be okay. Also, don't forget we get like a day and a half of a grace period before the bad water comes in. Water storage is full. We cannot drink all of that in a drought that we can currently get, although they are going to get longer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 4 more of these tanks. And these are, of course, going to be water storage. And I just want to make sure that we can pump more, but this definitely still needs to be the priority. Oh, good. This is already built. Cool. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely no problems. We're not going to be able to build all of these before the Badtides start, so I'm not even going to worry about building any of them. We're going to focus instead on getting these small tanks put in place, and they're done. All right, let's come out of 3 times speed real quick, because I want to mess with this. We're going to set our timers when the Badtide starts. Height 1, Badtide ends, height 0. So we're going to check and see if this works, because the only time we want this to be closed is when the Badtide starts. So I'm going to manually lower both of these to 0. And remember, there's no risk at the very beginning of the Badtide because it has to have time to get down here. So we'll see what happens, but they're both set individually to 0. Badtide start is height 1, Badtide end is height 0. So that's looking good. Now we should be building the rest of these small tanks. That's looking fine. Let's go back to triple speed, because we're just about finished, well, with the trees that are currently grown here. I think this is the last full size. Yeah, these are all seedlings. We can't get anything out of that. So once they've collected all of these, we can pause both of these lumberjack flags. Well, I guess we don't have to pause this one because we can grab some birch trees, but... Oh, I haven't even marked those for cutting. Okay. Well. These trees will grow in... Oh, this one's almost done. Okay, so this... We'll leave these 2 up. But now our main event. Let's see if these automatically go. If they do, that's great. That's going to solve us a lot of problems moving forward in this playthrough. So just about time for Badtide. Will it go up? Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. So, as promised, it has completely stopped the flow in, and it's not going to retain any either because of the height drop. So that's why I wasn't super worried about having these levees finished, because, well, there's not going to be any backflow. The only problem is it's going to unwater some of these trees, and when this fills with bad water, it will cause them not to be infected, hopefully, but they will definitely become unwatered. Very, very interested to see what happens down here. Oh, good. These are already full. Now, I am going to remember to remove this path so we don't have any beavers in danger of crossing. Oh, except that guy. Okay, well, let's not send anybody else over there, shall we? Yeah, problem solved. So, now what we're seeing, we've got bad water coming in here. This isn't going to tell us the actual contamination because that's stream gauge does that. We haven't unlocked those yet. But I want to see how this affects our trees here, because the irrigative properties, if that's even a word, if it's not, it is now. Sorry, but yeah. Here comes that contamination, and it unwaters. But is it going to actually infect these trees and kill them? I suspect this one might die. Yep. Okay, that's contaminated. This one's not, but it probably will become. Yep. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to see... I think this is as contaminated as this is going to get. Maybe. So we'll see a couple more trees die. Oh, okay, this is actually getting substantially worse. Is it going to get much further? Okay, well, even if we only lose like this much, that's probably going to be okay. Okay, so these potatoes are dying. That's... Well, it's not fine, but it's tolerable. These pumps are working just, a little bit more slowly. But having this here has actually made a measurable difference, I think. This here obviously is still fine as well. These need to be turned back on, or that one does at least. This still has a little bit of water in it. But yeah, we'll turn this guy back on, irrigate these carrots again. These are still have enough life left in them. Now I want to see if these dead carrots become irrigable again with this guy turned on. So let's get George here. All right, so this is still untenable as farmland, but the rest of these carrots are going to be a-okay. That is fantastic news. Now I don't. Oh yeah, see how slow this is pumping out the actual good water. So this is actually not a good use of our beaver resources currently. So I'm going to manually. I'm not going to automate these yet. I'm just going to manually pause these so we can get these beavers back working in inventors. Save up some science for the future because we're definitely going to need it. Definitely going to need it. So now let's think about, because we don't have any wood, because obviously none of these trees are farmable yet. We can't get over here, but we do have the science to start unlocking platforms, which will help us obviously get across the river with absolutely no consequences. Let's just think about what else. I could just go for ladders immediately, but I feel like that's not going to be super useful until we get a little bit further along. We don't need to start doing bad water stuff quite yet, because the extract is only useful in the Folktails for making, oh, not even explosives, it's just the double and triple dynamite. And then I really should have looked at this first. But yeah, I don't see extract going anywhere else outside of yeah, not even the herbalist. So is extract in the Folktails really only used for making super dynamite? Because it doesn't work with the bots. Oh, if it's only dirt excavator. Yep, I forgot. So terraforming and the super dynamite. That's actually it's actually a little disappointing. Okay, let's turn this back on. So I figure that would have been a lot more useful. Maybe I'm just missing something. So if you know that I'm missing something, please do let me know in the comments if there's some use for extract that I have not seen. Bulletin pull. Okay, that is a Folktails exclusive. That was not something the Iron Teeth had. We also have paper back in this one. Hammocks. Oh, I forgot. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't see any of these taking. Yeah, they're not taking bad water. So really, there's not really that much of an incentive for us to even get to getting bad water. So I guess we'll see what happens as we continue working on all of our stuff. How's our trees? Oh, good. So we actually do have some that are cuttable here. Now that we've regrown stuff. So I'm going to unpause and let our lumberjacks get back to work just a little bit. Yeah, this is now empty of water, so we got to get that filled back up. Yeah, we got 1 day left in this bad tide, and we have not run out of water yet. Although we're getting pretty close. So we're going to want to definitely have more stored up. That's why I started storing more. But there is only so much you can do. And I honestly probably shouldn't be putting it in the fluid dumps. Probably should be for beaver consumption. But there's also value in keeping the land irrigated. But now that this is full, that gets paused. This is full, that gets paused. This is full, paused. And that's all she wrote. This guy in the corner here is actually empty, so I'm going to have that refilled. But we have kept right on farming. Most of our farm stuff for the time being is fine. So I think what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put another one of these down here, just so we can keep everything nice and irrigated. Turn this 90 degrees. Now, I'm not going to put the path that goes down these stairs until the bad water is gone. I have learned my lesson on that. Hopefully. But just like that, bad tide is over and we avoided... Oh. You know what I did not foresee is that when the bad tide ends, it ends immediately, and the floodgates open immediately. So I don't think we can turn this. I think we are going to have to disable the bad tide ending. We just have to make sure it's all the way up. All right, so this is definitely going to kill some of these trees, which is oh no, I can't pause trees either. I really hope this guy is not going down the stairs. Okay, good. Oh, that would be such a disaster to have somebody get contaminated now. Oh, please don't kill these trees. Please don't kill these. Oh, it's going to kill all the trees. It's going to kill every single tree. That sucks. Absolutely. What a... That was a ridiculous mistake. That has wasted an entire cycle and a half of growth right there. But hey, at least the big trees are fine, right? This is going to be here until it evaporates. That is, yeah. Great strategy by me there. Absolutely A+ work. Good job. Yeah, we still don't have any wood either. What are these guys doing with it? If they can't cut any of this down. All right, well, that is, yes. I got nothing. I got nothing. That is absolutely, absolutely just horrific. Well, good water coming back can flush this once we have everything opened. All right, there we go. Now I can actually completely flush all this out. Yes, it will re-kill some of the crops, but that's okay. We'll be all right. All right, now water pumping can begin again. Again, our food supply is perfectly fine. No need to be concerned about that. Water supply is not completely adequate, but also going to be perfectly fine. Now, what are they going to be building first? Because everything else is paused. Or are they just putting the wood in... Yeah, they're filling the grill up for the potatoes. Well, now that it's day 2, I think we can put the path back in here. Have these guys harvest some of these trees across the way. Should be A-okay. And I'm going to unpause this lumberjack flag. No available workers in district, huh? I didn't think we had that few. See, this is why this game is so hard in hard mode. Because now I have a problem. And that is that I have not enough wood to fill this up. And not enough wood to also derail some of it to make planks. But I think... How long? 66? 90. Okay, we're going to get that one soon. We have these birch trees here we can also cut down. This guy is in range to cut down some of them. I'm gonna clear cut these birch trees. They don't really have long-term strategic value. I do wish that there was a little bit more to do with the birch trees, like maybe have a specific type of some sort of wood product that had to come from birch trees. Like I know in real life, birch bark is very useful for certain applications. It's very flammable. It's nice and thin and flexible, so maybe there could be some sort of specific wood thing that they could do with that. I don't know. If there's a mod for that, let me know. I'd like to check it out. But it just seems like the birch trees are more or less completely useless in the game, short of just, oh, hey, here's some easy free wood. But there's no incentive to grow them. There's no secondary product like the pine trees have, or the maple trees, or the chestnut trees have. And the oak trees are fine. They don't need a secondary product because they give you 8 logs, but it would be nice for birch to have some sort of other value. I think that would be cool. Anyway, we have bad tide coming in 1.5 days. We have this in place, and now I need to have some lumber get done. So let's pause our lumberjack flags here. And this guy can finish his work, and then he's done. We need to have them not go across the river here. Yeah, so we got, how many more of these do I need? 7. Okay. Can they even make 7 in one day? We might have to bust out the, I don't know. I mean, it does take time to have the bad water come down here all the way. It is just unfortunate. This is quickly becoming extremely difficult. But hey, we've got the hopefully enough water storage. Hopefully, I really should build another one of these. Actually, oh, this is a little more important to have this fluid dump here. But I am going to put another water pump in. So we really need to have the ability to make some more water here. Okay, this is 15 out of 15. Oh, I can pause this. Easy. That needs to be turned on. That needs to be turned on. That needs to be turned on. But it's more important to have this actually finished. And I think we're going to get there. Should not be a problem. It's just a shame that I can't keep water in here. I kind of miscalculated that. I do promise to give you guys the authentic experience of playing the game, and that is actually what this is. So those get paused. This needs to be filled up immediately. Oh, it's not connected. Okay, so I'm going to remove 2 pieces of path here. There's also no jobs across here, so there should not be any reason for the beavers to go over here at all. But we need to make sure that this gets filled, and it looks like it's going to be. So that's fine. I want to see if this can save these carrots. It probably won't, but it should be able to save at least a few. Anyway, Badtides started. This is now completely closed off. It will slaughter most of these trees, but we'll be able to keep these growing just fine. Okay, so this is almost, well, it is full, kind of. There we go. That could be paused. These are almost full. We're getting there. So water-wise, things are improving. That's looking good. We're going to want to keep this going as long as we possibly can, because the bad water is coming, and it is a 10-day bad water cycle. So I'm just so curious. I'm so glad that we learned this lesson early. Because if not, oh, that would be terrible. All right, so this again is going to kill some of these. But now that this is here, obviously as the concentration goes up, it's going to get further and further and further inland here. But I want to believe, X-Files theme plays, I want to believe that it's going to save at least a little bit more of these. I don't know, maybe it's just not powerful enough to deter it. But I want to say that most of these were dead. Okay, now it's going to kill all of them. This is the exact same amount. Okay, so what we've learned here is that hope is futile and we need to build contamination barriers. We have the science for it, we don't have the metal. Okay, well, this was an experiment that was not a success, but we learned something. Also, side note, I love that you can just see the color change right here like this. I know that's a function of how the water system in the game works. It just is a giant sheet that it bumps up above the surface when the game calls for water to be in a specific spot, which is absolute peak game design. I love stuff like that. It's such a simple solution. Obviously, it causes its own problems, but the ingenuity is fantastic. It reminds me of, I think it's Fallout 3, the DC Metro, I think is what it is. The train car for the Metro is not actually a vehicle because they couldn't figure out how to code that. So what they did is they gave an NPC a hat. That was just, the hat was just the train car. And the guy just runs back and forth down the track. And when you're inside the Metro in Fallout 3, you're actually wearing the train as shoulder armor, I believe is what it is. So it's it's just amazing. Because if you have shoulder armor on and you rotate your head, The shoulders are going to stay in the same place because you can't really move those. But relative to where your head's moving, it would just be like having a frame of reference. And you can just always have those in the same spot. It's just such a genius solution to a problem that if you don't know how game design works, and I really don't. I read some of this stuff sometimes. It just amazes me. But if you have any idea of how the level of problem solving that's necessary to do stuff like this, it just blows your mind. I absolutely love stuff like that. So all that to say, it is so funny that I can see this, but I understand why. And that is absolutely not a dig on the developers at all. That is just fantastic problem solving. I love it to death. So 7 days left of our bad tide. I think we're going to see it out for the duration of this episode, and then we'll end at the start of cycle 7. But we're in a really good spot now. We have plenty of water, plenty of food. We're in almost a position to go ahead and get this filled back in, because they can't get contaminated by walking on contaminated land. It's only in the water. So since we have 78 of these woods here, logs, whatever, let's turn these back on. Yeah, they're just going to get to work doing this. So what we can do with that is we can collect the good water here, and while it still will have some ground contamination, it's going to be able to allow us to build more trees, grow more trees over here. And that is always good. So we can't really pump any more water because of, well, obviously, it just doesn't work. So let's pause these. I'm going to pause the water dumps because we cannot be putting any more water out. 168 for 18 beavers, 6 days should be plenty. At the very least, it's not going to be an amount that's going to cause beavers to die of thirst. So now it's science time. And once these are in place, I'm going to start putting logs toward building storage for food. Even though we have plenty right now, we actually do have full berry storage. So we're going to want to have storage for berries, but it's not a very high priority crop, so it doesn't really need to be anything super crazy. And we have the science. We have these guys. We can actually start putting these platforms in. I'm just going to go ahead and unlock this. We can platform across the river here, but I'm not really that worried about that. What I would rather have is good storage accessibility and a second level of stuff on top of these barracks. So that is, in my opinion at least, a natural place to put storage for different things. So I know it's going to take a lot of planks, but it's going to be good for us to do this. So I'm going to put those there. And then what we will do is we'll just have these guys right like so. And because of how this is set up, I'm going to have the stairs go somewhere else. Or we could just have it come across the back side of this. Probably no issues. We can have small warehouses underneath. Actually, this would not be a bad place for berry storage. Wouldn't be a great place for it, but it wouldn't be a bad one either. So we actually don't have to have anything on this. So this could actually just go straight up, honestly, because of the way this stuff is laid out. But up here is absolutely going to have stairs. The ideal fancy solution, obviously, is to have everything completely connected. But the way this is set up currently, there's no reason to make it more complicated than it has to be. The real fun part, though, is going to be getting all of these connected later. But like I said, it's completely fine. This is actually going to be less expensive to just put another set of stairs here than how we had it set before. But we will fix it later. This is just cheaper currently for us to do with the planks that we have and don't have. So we have. I love this tree animation getting cut down. Fantastic. Let's actually plant these. I should have done that before, but I didn't. Oh, these got poisoned. We also probably want to eventually have more dams and levees here just to keep the bad water out. But for right now, we're looking okay. I'm going to turn this on. Both of these, we can start making some planks. So we don't have a ton of logs, but we do have enough. And this being berry storage, that's fine. The berries, I believe, are currently stored here. And we obviously can't get to them, but this will be a decent place to put those when that time comes as well. They haven't built these platforms yet. So I'll tell you what. I will tell you what we'll do. Is we're going to pause. We're going to pause these platforms from being built. Because when these haven't been built on top, we're going to instead focus on building stairs up to these two. So that's going to hopefully save us some planks, at least. Logs I'm not really that worried about, but planks are currently a precious resource. So we'll allow ourselves to put in... I think I'm just going to have grilled potato. I always want to call these baked potatoes. Grilled potato storage and carrots because the raw potatoes can be stored in the farmhouse. And, to a certain degree, in the grill. But we definitely want to have the finished product stored as best as we can. All right. So, yeah, we're looking pretty productive here. Love to see all of this working out so nicely. I just wish I hadn't quite done this the stupid way the first time. We could have saved a lot of these trees. But now we can actually trap the good water here, so that is very cool to see. I wish I could have gotten a screenshot with this filled with the good water and the bad water going around it. But you know how it goes. You can't always win. But now we have storage. Oh, I need to connect with paths. That would probably be smart. Now we can have our grilled potatoes go in here, and that's going to work fantastically well. So, since we don't have the metal, and currently metal is just a little bit unattainable where we are, we're going to have to climb or go out here to get it. The low-tech solution to having bad water not spread here is to just build levees all the way around this and split this river in half, which honestly might be a faster and cheaper way of doing it, because then we wouldn't have to worry about as much power. But if we had levees separate this river in half, or at least just have like one block of separation here with the good water in it, that would go quite far in terms of getting us a little bit more protection here in the farm. Even if the bad water leaches still through into the ground and kills some of the crops, it's going to be better than having all of these done. Because the only way we're going to stop this is to not have bad water right here. But that is a problem we'll have to come and solve in the next episode, because we're just about out of time. Got this one day left. We've got grilled potatoes going in here. We have, well, in theory, carrots are going to go in here, but they haven't started overflowing yet. This was set to... Oh, I don't have hollers yet, so I can't use these anyway. But now, look, we've got science. I like banking science in the Badtides with the beavers that aren't doing anything else. That is, in my opinion at least, a smart way to do things. You might disagree, but that's okay. We can have our different play styles. There is nothing wrong with that. I just really wish I had good water in here. I could put a water dump. I really could. But it wouldn't really do much good without just dumping a ton of our water that we can't really afford to dump. Because look, we're down to 24. We're not out, but we are down to 24. And we really need to get pumping again, but we're not going to be able to until the bad water is done. But we have well and truly reached the end of this one today with the end of cycle 6. So we will go ahead and get this thing wrapped up here. Yep, cycle 7 should change. Yep, there we go. Badtides over. Take stock of what we've done. It might not look like we've done too much at first glance if you just saw this as a screenshot, but this, I cannot begin to demonstrate to you how valuable this is going to be when used correctly, mind you. But this is going to be an absolute game changer, having the ability to redirect the bad water away and keep good water in. That is fantastic. And we've got space over here we could use for industry. We have the water wheels we can put along the side here, and we can start doing actual automated plank stuff. But that all takes beaver power, beaver manpower, whatever you want to call it, to get done. And we've been trying to conserve it a little bit and make sure that the absolute essential basics are covered which is, of course, food and water. And for the most part, food is actually really good. Water is the big problem that we're going to have, especially if we keep getting Badtides back to back to back. And that's really, really going to constrain our growth. We're going to have a massive amount of storage before we're going to be able to actually keep up with everything. So I tried to keep this under an hour. It's not going to be under an hour. Sorry. Just because I have to do all my end of episode stuff. But priorities next episode. Don't let me forget. We need to get medium tanks unlocked. I mean, we can unlock it now. I just don't have gears. We need to build medium tanks. We need to put in some actual industry over here, get gears going, get planks going, and actually store a ton of water, because we have to do it now if we want to have it later. There's no way to get around it. So I kind of like the idea of taking the screenshot for the episode cover in the episode. So I'm going to go in dev mode just to turn off fog and camera stuff. We're not going to do anything else, don't worry. Also, I love that I can favorite dev mode stuff now. It's fantastic. Hide the UI. And, oh, we get like the little early morning sunlight action. I like that. Let's see, what would be a good angle here? See, if I show this off like this, we're not going to see anything else. If I do it like this, that's kind of an uninspiring angle of the town. But if we use a similar angle from the first episode, you can see the change side by side. And it's not going to be, you know, exactly perfect, but this, I think, is pretty good. Leave space here for the numbers on the title card. My I've had this picture quote unquote of me. I've had the title cards the same style for years at this point. Do you like those? Do you want something different? It's simple, it's easily identifiable, and it takes me like, I don't know, 10 seconds to make. So I like them. But if you want to see something else, do let me know. I always do enjoy hearing your feedback. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that screenshot. That's going to be our title card. And we're going to go ahead here and we'll get out of dev mode after I turn these back on. And there we go. That's it for today, folks. As always, thanks very much for watching. I really do and truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch the videos, first of all, but also when you leave insightful, helpful comments, or even when you just say hi. I really like that as well. It's so much fun to get to interact with you, so please don't be shy. Again, I do read all of the comments, and I try my very best to make sure that I take your feedback into consideration. So thank you for that. Also, huge thank you to the Beard Boosters, all of their support. I say it every time, but it really is true. It is what makes it possible for me to keep doing these, and takes some of the guesswork out of planning stuff if I know I've got people in my corner who are going to be contributing financial and emotional support assistance. Believe it or not, it's actually very validating to have people that are really enthusiastic about the content. So I very much appreciate those folks, as well as everybody else. But the extra mile those folks go really does help this content keep coming. So if you want to see more, please do let me know and consider supporting in that way. But if not, that's fine too. Glad to have you here, and I hope whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, you have a fun and a safe time. And we'll see you back tomorrow for another episode of this series. That's right, we got back-to-back Monday, Tuesday for you this week. And then, of course, Water Beavers Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we will have our Iron Teeth playthrough as well. But yep, that's it. Have a great one. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.